3 cents. That's what a cup of coffee costs in the country that invented it. In one country, coffee breaks are protected by law. In another, your coffee cup tells your fortune. And in the country that gave coffee to the world, a cup still costs less than a dime. These are the 10 countries where coffee isn't just a drink. It's a religion. Number 10. Brazil. Brazil produces 1/3 of all the coffee on earth. But Brazilians don't just export it. 98% of households drink it every day. The cafezinho, a tiny cup of boiling hot, heavily sugared black coffee, is Brazil's version of a handshake. Refusing one is considered rude. It's served at every bakery, every office, every home visit. Coffee shaped Brazil's entire history. By the 1820s, it overtook sugarcane as the #1 export, and coffee barons essentially ran the government for decades. Today, the industry provides 8 million jobs. But here's the paradox. Brazilians are suspicious of fancy espresso machines and latte art. In a country that produces more coffee than anywhere on earth, simplicity is the luxury. Just filtered, sugared, and served in a cup small enough to finish in 2 sips. Number 9. Japan. Japan has no historical connection to coffee-growing regions, yet it built one of the world's most sophisticated coffee cultures. It started with the Kisaten, traditional coffee houses where masters treated brewing like a tea ceremony. Precise water temperature, exact pour timing, specific cup selection. Japanese baristas were obsessing over single-origin pour-overs in the 1950s, decades before the Western third wave even had a name. Then Japan did what Japan does best. It innovated. UCC invented the world's first can coffee in the 1960s. Today, 5 million vending machines sell hot and cold coffee 24 hours a day, one machine for every 23 people. The ready-to-drink coffee market alone is worth $8.69 billion. Yet the artisanal Kisaten survived because Japanese culture values both efficiency and mastery. Japan is the world's 3rd largest coffee importer, consuming 3.65 kilograms per person per year, and some Kisaten have been run by the same family for 3 generations. Number 8. Colombia. In Colombia, coffee isn't just a crop. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The coffee cultural landscape, covering the departments of Quindío, Caldas, and Risaralda, is one of the few places on Earth where an entire agricultural tradition received that designation. Tinto vendors carry thermoses on every street corner in every city, selling tiny cups of sweet black coffee for 12 cents. The fictional Juan Valdez character, created in 1958, was so successful at marketing Colombian coffee that many people think he's a real person. He represents 540,000 real coffee farming families. But here's the twist. For decades, Colombia exported its best beans and kept the lower grades for domestic consumption. Colombians were drinking mediocre versions of their own world-class product. Only in the last 15 years has a specialty coffee movement emerged, and per capita consumption is now growing 4% per year as Colombians finally discover what the rest of the world has been paying premium prices for. Number 7. Austria. In Vienna, coffee isn't served. It's presented. Every cup arrives on a silver tray, with a glass of water and a small spoon. That glass of water isn't just hospitality. It signals that the waiter acknowledges you exist, and you're welcome to stay as long as you want. A Viennese waiter will never bring the bill until asked. Vienna's coffeehouse culture is a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, and 2,000 coffeehouses still operate in the city, many continuously for over 100 years. Sigmund Freud developed psychoanalysis at Café Lampman. Leon Trotsky planned revolution at Café Central. Gustav Klimt sketched at Café Museum. The Viennese coffeehouse was described as a place where time and space are consumed, but only the coffee is listed on the bill. Austrians drink 7.1 kilograms per person per year, and the Melange, Vienna's signature coffee with steamed milk, has barely changed since the 1700s. Even the furniture is a tradition, the same donut bentwood chairs that have been in these cafes for 200 years. Number 6. Turkey. Turkish coffee is the only preparation method in the world to receive its own UNESCO heritage status. Not the coffeehouse culture, not the tradition, the actual brewing method itself. Ultra-fine grounds boiled in a copper sieve, served unfiltered with the grounds still in the cup. This technique hasn't changed in 500 years. But Turkey's real coffee innovation is fortune-telling. After drinking, you flip the cup upside down on the saucer, wait for the grounds to dry, and a reader interprets the patterns. Professional coffee ground readers called falsi charge for readings. In modern Istanbul, apps let you photograph your cup and an AI reads your fortune. The Turkish word for breakfast, kahvaltı, literally translates to pre-coffee. And here's a wedding tradition still practiced today. The bride serves coffee to the groom's family, and some brides deliberately add salt instead of sugar. If the groom drinks it without complaining, he passes the test. When coffee houses first appeared in Istanbul in the 1550s, they became so politically charged that sultans repeatedly tried to ban them. They failed every time. Number 5. Vietnam. Vietnam went from producing almost zero coffee in the 1980s to becoming the world's second largest producer in just 20 years. That's one of the most dramatic agricultural transformations in modern history. The government's Doi Moi reforms in 1986 redistributed land to farmers, and the Central Highlands became an ocean of coffee. Today, Vietnam produces 40% of the world's Robusta supply. But Vietnam didn't just grow coffee. It invented an entirely new way to drink it. Coffee, iced coffee with sweetened condensed milk, was born from necessity. Fresh milk was scarce during French colonization, so condensed milk became the standard. When there was no milk at all during wartime, they invented egg coffee, Phi Trung, using whipped egg yolk as a creamy substitute. The fin, a tiny metal drip filter balanced on top of your cup, is iconic. Coffee drips slowly over ice while you sit on a tiny plastic stool on the sidewalk. And unlike most countries, Vietnamese people drink coffee at night, not just morning. It's an evening social ritual. Street coffee starts at just 23 cents. Number 4. Italy. Angelo Moriando invented the espresso machine in Turin in 1884, and Italy has been defining how the world drinks coffee ever since. Espresso, cappuccino, latte, macchiato, americano. These are all Italian words. Italy didn't just create coffee drinks. It created the entire vocabulary. There are 150,000 coffee bars in Italy, roughly one for every 400 people. At most of them, the ritual is the same. You walk in, stand at the bar, order an espresso, drink it in 30 seconds while chatting with the barista, pay around €1, and leave. An espresso is consumed, not lingered over. Ordering a cappuccino after 11 a.m. marks you as a tourist. Italians believe milk after meals disrupts digestion. For over a century, espresso has been treated as a necessity, with price controls keeping it affordable. And Starbucks? It took 47 years to open in Italy, and even then, Italians saw it as cultural appropriation of their own invention. The irony: Starbucks founder Howard Schultz got the idea after visiting Milan's espresso bars in 1983. He brought Italian coffee culture to America. Then it took 35 more years before he dared bring it back. Number 3. Norway. Norwegians drink 9.9 kilograms of coffee per person per year, nearly double the global average, making them the second highest consumers on Earth. And it started with a ban. Norway's alcohol prohibition from 1917 to 1927 forced the country to find a replacement social drink. Coffee filled that gap and never left. The extreme latitude helps explain the rest. Months of near-total darkness in winter make a hot, stimulating drink feel essential for survival. But Norway didn't just consume coffee. It reinvented it. Norwegian roasters pioneered the light roast revolution that defined specialty coffee globally. Tim Wendelboe, an Oslo barista who became world barista champion in 2004, proved that light roasts reveal a coffee's true character: fruity, floral, and complex, rather than the dark, bitter roasts that dominated for centuries. Today, virtually every specialty coffee shop in Brooklyn, Tokyo, or Melbourne follows a template that Norwegians invented. The traditional kokkaffe, boiled coffee steeped in a kettle, is still how many Norwegians brew at home. 80% of the population drinks coffee regularly, with 4 to 5 cups per day considered normal. Number 2. Ethiopia. This is where it all began. The legend says a goat herder named Kaldi noticed his goats dancing after eating red berries from a certain bush in the province of Kaffa. Yes, Kaffa. Every time anyone on earth says the word coffee, they're speaking a word with Ethiopian origins. But Ethiopia didn't just discover coffee. It built an entire social architecture around it. The jebena buna ceremony is a 1 to 2 hour ritual. Green beans are washed, roasted over hot coals, hand-ground with a mortar and pestle, and brewed in a clay jebena pot. The coffee is poured 3 times. The first round, abel, is the strongest. The second, tana, is medium. The third, barika, is the blessing, the moment your spirit is said to transform. Leaving before the third cup is considered deeply disrespectful. In a country with over 80 ethnic groups, the coffee ceremony crosses every linguistic and cultural barrier. It's how business deals are sealed, disputes are resolved, and communities are bonded. Ethiopia consumes nearly half of what it produces, unusual for a major coffee nation. And the price? A cup of jebena buna costs 5 bear, about 3 cents. Coffee at the counter of the legendary Tomoka in Addis Ababa is 8 cents. In the country that gave coffee to the world, everyone can afford it. Number 1. Finland. 12 kilograms per person per year. That's 26 pounds of coffee for every man, woman, and child in the country. Finland doesn't just lead the world in coffee consumption, it dominates by a margin that seems almost absurd. The second highest consumer, Norway, drinks 9.9 kilograms. Finland drinks 21% more than that. The average Finn drinks 4 cups a day. Some drink 8. And here's what makes Finland truly unique. Coffee breaks are legally mandated. Finnish labor law requires employers to provide 2 paid coffee breaks during an 8-hour shift. It's called kavatako, and violating it is a labor rights issue. Coffee is served at every meeting, every social gathering, every church event, every funeral. The Finnish concept of kavakutsit, a coffee invitation, is how friendships are maintained and new neighbors are welcomed. The preference is almost exclusively light roast filter coffee, brewed strong and served black. No sugar, no milk, no frills. Finland has no connection to coffee growing. It imports every single bean. There's no climate advantage, no colonial history driving the habit. The explanation is simpler and darker. 6 months of winter, 20 hours of darkness, and temperatures that hit -30. Coffee isn't a preference in Finland. It's a coping mechanism elevated to a national identity. 10 countries, 10 completely different relationships with the same bean. Finland drinks 12 kilos a year by law. Ethiopia invented it and still sells it for 3 cents. Italy gave us the vocabulary, and Turkey reads your future in the cup. Which coffee culture surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more data-driven rankings, hit subscribe and the notification bell. We'll see you in the next countdown.